Hello and welcome to the Hindu live discussion on the Kerala budget for the 25-26 fiscal, presented by the State Finance Minister K.N. Balagopal in the Legislative Assembly today. The budget was a mix of bag, especially with the long-term and short-term challenges faced by the left-front government. And it had a slew of projects being announced, and it had its own disappointments also in various other sectors, especially due to the severe fiscal constraints the government is facing. Our expert for the day is Emmanuel Thomas, head of the Department of Economics, St. Thomas College, Thrissur. He is a doctor fellow at the Center for Economic Studies and Planning, Jawaharlal Nehru University, New Delhi, and his areas of specialization include fiscal economics, macroeconomics. Thank you, sir, for joining us.
Thank you, Krishna.
So, can we start by looking at what is your overall perception about the state budget this time?
First of all, I think, Krishna Kumar, what we need to note is that the problems that not just Kerala, any society is facing cannot be solved through one single budget. And in the case of Kerala, we have been facing several problems for a long period of time. And we are always focusing on the fiscal health of the government, and we are always worried about state finances. But that that the problems with the state finances is a result of an overall, underlying problem with the economy itself, where the economy is not performing well, and people are going out of the state looking for better options. So there are a host of problems that our economy is facing. And this year also, the budget is being presented against the state and the
Sir, I think we are having a slight audio issue. Can you just keep the phone away for a...
better now?
Yeah, it's better now. Please continue. Sorry.
Yeah, no, thank you. So I think the present budget was presented by the finance minister against the backdrop of this again worsening condition of the state finances, for which the state is blaming the union government. The transfers have not come forth. That is the argument given by the state government. And also another background for this year's budget is the upcoming assembly elections. So in that context, the optics of the budget, I think, is highlighting the importance and speaking a little bit about growth, and especially the terms that take used by the finance minister is, I think, trying to convey to the people that they are focusing on growth, and they are not, as leftist governments often do, not just focusing on redistribution alone. Then the finance minister announced four guiding principles for this investment, area of investments, and he proposed many investment projects like the Vizhinjam, Kollam, Changota, that triangle, development triangle, and other projects, coastal area development. But the problem is that we need money for these projects. And in this context, I think we should look back at the current year's budget. So the budget also comes with the revised figures for the current year. So there, what we see is that capital outlay, which was budgeted at about 5,000 crore, is just 600 crores. It's a very small amount, which is not able to make any capital outlay, investment. It has to bring in the private sector. and make sure that investment is happening. So I thought that this is initially when I was listening to the budget speech, I thought that the government is in favor, in a big way welcoming public investment and uh, opening the way for private investment to come in. But the overall philosophy has not changed, I feel. That is going to be uh, one of the important ideas that Kerala has been trying to showcase and talk about is that Kerala needs to transform itself into a knowledge economy. So even when a state is talking about knowledge economy for 3, 4, 5 years, even this year our state is not able to welcome private universities and foreign universities, let alone foreign universities, even private universities to our state. What does it convey to the people who are looking to trying to invest in Kerala? So that way, I think the investment side is not going to be very rosy for the state next year also. So that is one thing. The second thing is about some of the taxes which have been hiked by the government. Property taxes have been hiked. So general feeling among Kerala public is that almost all of them are in a sort of distressed situation apart from the top maybe 20%, 30% of the populace. So they might find it very difficult. And at a time, so if the government is going for a hike in the election year, that tells us about the state of the finances of the government. So this is the overall impression to start with.
Yeah, you mentioned about the expectations and whether the budget actually it met the expectations. I just want to recall at this point of time there was this opening remark that the finance minister made, in which he said the state is all set to embark on a phase of rapid economic growth. Um, do you think this is tied to any reality, especially when we look at the drastic fiscal compression, especially on the plan schemes for the 24-25 fiscal?
Yeah. Krishnamar, even when the finances are in trouble, we can think of basics of economics tells us that for growth you need investment. If the government is not able to bring in that investment, then we have to look for that from the private sector, which Kerala has not been able to do so far. So I thought that that is one remark which I also was attracted to. I thought the following uh, budget speech will be more positive towards private capital, especially some announcements on private universities, etc. So it doesn't. What I'm trying to say is that government finances need not be a constraint for takeoff and faster growth and opening up a new phase of growth and development for Kerala. But we need to change. We need to change our approach towards capital. We need to see, for example, in the union government, the union finance minister has identified reforms as the fuel for economic growth for India. So for Kerala also, we need to do much more reforms than the union government is contemplating. That is what I feel, because we have been holding back on several fronts in reforming several areas. So unless reforms are, especially regulatory reforms, are brought in, we will not be able to grow. So that is the constraint, I think, and that so so that doesn't require much capital investment, or it is not an expensive thing to make these changes. Maybe it is difficult and expensive, but it's not so politically. I think all the political parties in the state should sit together and we need to make regulatory reforms, especially. so that yeah, more investment can happen, especially in the services sector. So whenever we talk about Kerala, people generally tend to come up with excuses, excuse or we have gone beyond the aging economy. Now we can do to go for a care economy and things of that sort. But I feel that being a part of a big country, a big nation that is India, the democratic transition which has happened in Kerala is not a constraint for Kerala. One, the people, the youngsters who are going out of Kerala, they can stay back. And we can attract talent from other states and even abroad. That's point number one. And second one is the excuse that comes up always is that the density of population is very high. Land is not available here. So there, Kerala can easily shift to make advancements in the services sector, which is continual for Kerala situation. So it's a knowledge economy, education itself is a service related uh, sector. So by bringing in more universities, education institutions, by promoting tourism, IT sector, and many other service sectors are there. So if think of Kerala, where if you take any service sector, the top out of top 100 or 200 experts in the world, five of them are in Kerala. Now we can transform to a situation like that. Say even legal firms, for example, so those who are providing legal services, medical services, education services across disciplines. So all of them can be brought to Kerala. For that, I think this is where the reforms are needed. People, if they need to come back, think of they if they have to consider coming to Kerala, coming back to Kerala, etc. We need to make a lot of changes in our society. Like, for example, if I can, if I have time, for example, the road safety, for example, the condition of roads are so bad that if we as Malayalis, when we think plan our vacation, do we go to places where the roads are better, traffic is better, more regulated, etc., or we go to places where it's all unruly? So in the same way, Kerala also think of making a lot of changes. And another area is waste management. So foreign tourists will definitely look for disposing their waste. They won't litter. Even Malayalis won't litter. What we do is we gather everything and burn it on a convenient day. So instead of that, our urban spaces have places where we can deposit the waste, etc. So every town, every city needs a waste management system. So, these kind of changes are the need of the hour, and tourists will require better, toilet facilities, just as rest places, etc. So these are the areas where the government need to focus on instead of focusing on big projects. And government's role has to change. In India, we as a nation have shifted from this state-led development model to market-led. So I think that is the crux of the problem. We are continuing to rely on the state for development, and where we have today, the crisis situation that we are facing today is a result of that. So by doing more of it, we cannot think that we will reach another place. So we need to make amends in the trajectory, as it is mentioned in the title of this program. We need to change the trajectory of our policies so that our economy can take a trajectory. Doing the same thing and expecting a different trajectory will not be realistic, I feel.
And do you think that the was it necessary to go for a steep hike, especially in the land tax? It's almost by a staggering 50%. And what do you think will be the impact of the increase in taxes on electric vehicles and contract carriage vehicles? So how is it going to overall impact? You can't hear me? Can you just say something? Am I audible? Hello? Am I audible? Hello? Not able to see? It's from your side. So there is some issue with the audio, I think. Hello? Is the is the audio issue been resolved? Sure. Sorry for the technical snag. Um, we are really sorry for that. We'll stop here and restart in 10 minutes. I'm really sorry for the. It's a technical snag.